everybody, and welcome to our second ever session of T&D on Friday afternoons Twitch streaming platform. I am your dungeon master, aka Tea Master, Alan, aka Teacup. Now let's introduce yourselves and introduce your character, starting with Friday.
Make sure my mic is on this time. I got so far last time before I realized, and I went back and watched the VOD, and it was so animated and fun, and no one could hear a damn word. Hi, I'm Friday. I'm the face you usually see on this channel. Excited to be here with friends. I am the owner and founder and head tea bender over at Friday Afternoon Tea. We make tea for nerds. That's our jam. Tonight we're here to play tea games with nerds, which is also our jam. So yeah, amped to be here. And I'm going to brag about what tea I'm drinking tonight. I just restocked on my Fridays evening, which is my very favorite thing. That's decaf black tea with rose and tulsi and cardamom. It's super dreamy, and I think it's going to feel some very good imaginative gaming tonight.
All right, now to you, Shauna.
Hello, I'm Shauna. My pronouns are she, her. And I don't remember what else you asked us to say besides those things for introducing ourselves.
Your name, pronouns, your character's name.
No, yeah, I've got the character bit, but I wanted to make sure there's nothing else I was forgetting. It's all good.
And the tea that you're drinking.
Cool. Oh, right, that was it. Thank you. It's like I know there's a thing. My character's name is Bettina Scarlett. Her pronouns are also she, her, and I am low on spoons today, so I'm drinking this bottled oolong tea. It's tasty and simple. That's where I'm at today. I'm glad to have you all along with us.
Oolong. Nice. Oh, you already did that. Never mind. Down to you, Reese.
Hello, everyone. My name is Reese. My pronouns are she, her. My character's name is Calabria Limetta. And today I'm drinking an iced chai spice.
Awesome. And last but certainly not least, Josh.
Hello. My name is Josh. He, him. And same for my character. That's convenient. Carson is also he, him. He is a Liquid Genasi Peacedomain cleric from the Sweet Tea Nation. I am not drinking tea today. I am running behind on life, so maybe a break. We'll see how much time we have.
Yeah. All right. And I forgot to mention, my pronouns are they, them, and I'm currently drinking the Colombian White. So, yeah. All right. I guess we have to get into it now, unless anyone has anything else to say.
We get to get into it now.
We get to get into it, yeah. Okay, so last time we left off, we met at some point, will be our heroes, Chewie, already messing up, Calabria, God, every time, Carson and Bettina, every time. So last time we left off, we met all of our characters, and they all got their invitations with their letters of lavender. Last time I said rosemary. I don't know why, but it actually has lavender in it. With a weird insignia of a rose thingy, and a cool blessed thing, and a random piece of magical jewelry. And also chocolate, because I'm sweet and nice, and I thought that they might enjoy it. So here is what we are going. There's more. Of course, there's more. They also, in that box, got an invitation to go to the Twilight Ball, a once in a 2-year sort of event. It happens every 2 years, where tea leaf people can transition into tea liquid people. A sort of ritualistic ceremony that happens every 2 years. Now, our characters walk into the Twilight Ball. They mingle, chat, read a book, bump into some people who accidentally spill champagne on their book, have a loud conversation with a socially awkward ghoul undead teenager, and also with a boba guard person, and hear about some weird tunnels underneath the kingdom that lead to a weird science place. What? So, right where we left off, we hear the Queen of the Earl Kingdom. Have the name of her? Yep. Queen Grey of the kingdom has burst into the ballroom area, screaming, freaking out, because she says, the king is dead! And that is where we will pick up right now. What do you all want to do? Some of you are drinking. This interrupts Carson and shoot. You were having a conversation with someone, and I forgot who that was.
Yeah, I was talking to my friend Chidrick
Yep.
from Tisania is who
Yeah.
I was talking to. We were talking about, you know, some like business relations or trade relations, that whole thing.
Yeah. This happens in the middle of your conversation with Chidrick, and in the middle of the conversation between Chewie, Bettina, I got it right? Yes. Okay. Betrina and the very loud guard, Charlie. So, yeah, this is happening all at the same time. You hear loudly a blood-curdling scream. The king is dead. What would you all like to do?
Probably just like say, hey, sorry, Chadrick, let me just go check on that real quick. Like literally like in that exact same very flat, unbothered tone. And then just start walking in the general direction. Like just as if everything is perfectly normal.
Chidrick is freaking the fuck out. He is screaming, and his doppelganger, which I forgot to mention, Chidrick, is also flipping the fuck out. They are screaming, along as with everyone else. The royal kings and queens of every single nation are flipping the fuck out because hearing that a king is dead and no one noticing is shocking. It's a complete plot twist that no one at all prepared for. So, you go over, you run. What has everyone else been doing?
Oh, shoot, messing up the stream layout for one thing.
Oh
no, I
You
don't
can
think that
drag
was
and
me.
drop in Zoom.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
I think that we had a little some windows got rearranged here, so just bear with me for a second because I'm now need to rearrange all these things. No big deal. That's okay. We're just gonna play a little Brady Bunch for a minute. And no, I don't actually know how to do this. I'm trying to drag and drop things, but here we are in completely the wrong places, and I'm not doing a very successful job at dragging and dropping. So there we go. Now we have at least that moved over. We're having such a technical difficulty day, and it's chill. I think I've almost got us back. Very almost.
You're doing great, Friday.
This is like one of those slidey puzzles where everyone just has to get slid around. Oh my gosh. I don't know. Here we are. Let me just tell you all totally, and this is fine. This is all fine and good. It's just We're just going to have to take a minute. So I would like to just let everyone know that literally every single thing I have personally tried to do on a computer today has not gone right, but in really surprising ways. So it's just been one kind of big adventure after another. I've almost maybe I don't feel like I'm using critical thought here, and I just keep making it worse and worse. I'm really trying, kid. Thank you. I feel like there's a very clear answer here, and I just don't have the brain capacity to see it. Like, there's clearly a pattern, and I just keep moving everyone randomly. It'll work eventually. Don't even worry. I got this. I also don't know. Anyway, so yeah, let's just take a minute and just get our shit together.
Well,
And
this is our first ever D&D online campaign.
mm-hmm.
So you gotta just be with us during the hiccups. I don't even know where I am.
I don't know where anyone is.
Voice.
Don't worry. Hold on. Yes. Reese, you're muted. I feel like you are trying to say something so helpful right now.
To be honest, I was whispering it in like a silent truth. And I was like, almost.
That is super helpful, though. That is super helpful. I'm just going to keep dropping everyone back to the top until we make it. This is so terrible. This is so terrible. Yeah, so Nikki, I do see you in the chat saying I need to put everyone back in their original spots. The problem is I don't know where those are. And also, I don't really understand how to move the things.
The only thing that's off right now is the difference between you and Teacup. Everybody else is in the right spot.
So okay.
You can just remember where we are, and you just need to switch you and Teacup
but then
in that order.
Josh to Friday's spot. Oh,
yes.
There we go.
Yes.
I'm not gonna touch anything else. I don't even know how that happened. Honestly,
I think that I was the one who fudged it up.
Okay. So no one turn off your camera at any point, please.
Yeah.
We've now experienced that.
I just forgot to turn Do Not Disturb on my phone, and it was like doing things. People following me, which thank you, but I rarely ever use Twitter. So
okay, cool. So anyway, we did that. That was a nice little diversion and didn't even happen too deep into the story. So, no harm, no foul. Here we are. No one turn off your damn camera. And is your phone now in Do Not Disturb, kiddo?
Yep.
Perfect. Then we are all golden. Thank you for bearing with us, everybody. Cool. So the king's been murdered. Sucks. Teacup has now used both of our F-bombs for the stream. So well done. That was very efficient. It's cool. It's cool. You just took care of that right out the gate. No big deal. Okay. So there's a whole Chidrick and doppelganger situation going on over there. Carson's heading very calmly in the direction of the hubbub, I believe, is where we left off before the technical difficulties. To recap. Great. All right. Well, while I'm already talking, I feel like I got some moves for Chewy here. Chewy being, in their core, through both those layers of compostable corn plastic right down to that coffee tea boba heart, Chewy is and will always be in their core a soldier in service of the two kings of the Boba dynasty and their necromancer, risen from the dead, adorable sweet daughter, Princess Milksadies. Milksadies, who is just, a child of my heart, if not of my own boba and coffee tea. So definitely just gonna book it on over to the princess and the royal family. I might forget that I don't serve them technically anymore. Just limp over there on my partially melted knee, protect the royal family, get between them and where the screaming and hubbub is coming from, and just keep eyes on the situation.
I would like you to roll an athletics check because I'm going to let you all know it's so hard to move right now. There are people running in. It's like Costco Costco during Black Friday. Everyone is moving in different directions and it's very complicated. So,
Okay.
please roll athletics.
26.
26, you move quickly. Somehow there's some sort of divine like gap that like lets you just zoom on in and like immediately sorry, that's one of our guys. Immediately like zoom in and block the princess and the other boba guards like wrap around the two kings. Nice job.
Information. Yeah.
Yeah. What about you all?
So, is there anyone? Well, first, where are the royal people from the Chai Republic right now? Because I feel like I should probably keep an eye on them, even though I am not technically a bodyguard. I am definitely here representing my country in some capacity.
Roll a perception check, please.
Okay. Perception. That would be, oh, these dice have a weird font. Math. 19.
19. You see that that the queen is like getting inside of her robot. Like you see like a little compartment open in her robot and like she gets in and you see a quick glance of like a seat and like two arm holds so then she can like control kind of like a mechanoid bot sort of situation like Stam Formers.
Got it. And her robot is her kid also, right?
Yeah, robot is her heir.
Cool. I just wanted to make sure. So they're probably fine.
Yeah, they're
okay. Good. Is there anyone currently standing nearest to the screaming who looks like they would like to be anywhere but near the screaming? I promise this is relevant.
What do you mean? Do you mean like people who are trying to escape because you think that they might be guilty?
No. Specifically, oh no, that's a good point. I hadn't thought about that. No, specifically someone who is like, I did not sign up for this. Get me out of this. Oh, the humanity. Like that kind of reaction.
Roll an insight check.
21.
21. You see this cup of cocoa with large like anime style eyes, a like weird looking like mouth and like a cinnamon stick cigar, who is just like, oh god.
Okay, so I am going to use benign transposition to teleport up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space I can see. No. Sorry, scratch that. Let me try that again. I'm going to swap places with the hot cocoa. Because they are immediate, as long as they're willing to be swapped away from the screaming. I will swap places with the cocoa.
I'm gonna say that they don't know what's happening, so there is no possible way to get their active consent. And also, you're pretty far away from them. You're like 40 feet. There's 40 feet of.
Okay, then I will just use the part of benign transposition that lets me teleport up to 30 feet to an unoccupied spot. So I want to go closer to the screaming.
Great. You go closer to this Coco General. Roll a pure intelligence check.
So just a straight up intelligence check?
Yep, just a straight up intelligence check. Just add your modifier.
18.
18. You know this as Frederick the Coco General, a representative of the of Foodtopia, who is a beverage, so it's kind of like knows his way around, but also is like a high member of society.
Sorry. I meant specifically I wanted to get closer to where the queen is, where the Queen of Earl.
Queen of Earl? Oh,
Yeah, sorry.
Got
Sorry. I should have been more clear. The train leaving my head was not sufficiently labeled.
You're good. Yeah, no, you straight up teleport to Miss Gray. Sorry, Queen Gray. Titles, they're important. Immediately teleport to Queen Gray. Please describe what your magic looks like. Just like a quick little thing.
My magic looks like if you're looking at a bunch of tea plants with young tender leaves at the tips, it's kind of the sense of what it looks like when a breeze ruffles them.
Mm.
So you get kind of that overall impression, and maybe a whiff of fresh spring air.
I love that. You teleport immediately to her. She kind of like flips the fuck out because there's the fudge out. I'm so sorry. I'm not used to having a limit to the F-bombs. But she flips the fudge out and like, cause she just saw her husband being murdered. And immediately someone just teleported right next to her without any warning at all. And she's just like, oh my God. Okay.
You know, in retrospect, perhaps I should have thought of that, but I did not.
You hear
Your Majesty, my apologies for startling you. I'm here to assist.
Thank you. Okay. You know what? Come on. And like she like does a big hand move towards you guys, towards the people who are like running towards her. And you see a bunch of guards, one dude who's just kind of like, Carson, are you like walking slowly towards them, or are you like trying to get your way through? Like, how are you getting there?
I am trying to exude a sense of calm and order right now in this very disorderly place. And like as I'm going, I'm like, hey, it's all right, everybody. It's all right. It's gonna be a-okay as I'm just walking in, just like trying to like calm people as I go. I don't have any magic necessarily to help with that, but I'm just hoping that my presence will be one of peace, maybe.
Roll a charisma check.
I surely will. Oh, that's pretty good. Just straight charisma.
Yeah, just straight on. I don't know if there would be a better like skill for this, because like what you're describing to me, it feels like is that like you're just trying to calm people down. So I guess persuasion would be a better one.
I'm cool either way. If you want me to do persuasion, I'll do persuasion. That is a 22.
22. As you walk by, kind of like putting a hand on a couple of shoulders, it's a quick like, oh no, but then it's like kind of like a okay, everything's like going to be all right. You straight up just make like an entire path of people like not running and not like moving very much. They're kind of just like and like not hyperventilating, but like slower hyperventilation. So yeah.
Sure.
I'll
do that. I'll do that kind of thing that like old ladies by the pool do. It's like, now don't run, you might slip and fall. Come on now, watch your speed. Come on, like just trying to like
love it.
Calm everybody down.
That is awesome, and I love it. Yeah. Bettina, you just see a guy like calming people down and walking towards you guys. And yeah, I'm gonna go Clara Bria, what are you doing right now?
Well, upon hearing this, I'm realizing that this is my uncle, and I want to go straight to the queen to see what's going on, but also I'm feeling it's my responsibility to speak to my cousins as well, and see where they're all at in this, because all we've seen is and heard is from the queen. But it's, I don't know how far away I am from the queen.
I would say that you're around like 90 feet away from her. And with difficult terrain, it's double that, so 180 feet away. Right? Is that how difficult terrain works?
You just move at half speed.
Yeah.
But so yeah, effectively the math works out the same either way.
Yeah. But it's unless roll actually a perception check just to see if you saw what happened.
I got a 5.
Yeah, no. You see the queen kind of like freak out a little bit, but then like a huge top hat like kind of blocks Bettina showing up. And then it passes and like you don't see Bettina, and all you're kind of trying to do is just like stay focused. Yeah, there is a way where you can like go towards the wall and kind of move that way. There is a way to kind of like, you can always teleport, but it's going to be really hard to move there on your feet if you're trying to make like in point A to point B, sort of like straight line.
And that's because that there's like walls in my way, not just because that there's a huge distance in my way.
Yeah, it's because of the copious amounts of people moving around.
Well, I don't have an easy way to get there. Maybe I can send a message to the queen. I have a message which I can send as a whisper that only she can hear.
Perfect.
Okay.
Is it a thing where she can reply? No? Okay, cool. Thank you, Shona.
But at least she'll know that like I'm aware of it, and if we ever do get to meet up in all the chaos, then she'll know that I'm ready to help wherever possible.
Yeah. Actually, everyone roll initiative, just so then we have like a precise way of like doing all this stuff without me having to like, okay, now you and you. I'll be right back.
Oh, dang it. I dropped my dice.
Oh no. The
I
gravity
got
check is
7.
complete. Gravity is functioning in this stream.
Nice. Gotta check.
Hey, at least something's functioning. I'm joking.
Yeah, but also. All right.
Sorry. The gravity.
There it is.
functioning in this
Oh,
stream.
close one. Almost
Coming soon
missed
about
it.
to a tea shop near you.
Hey, yo.
You almost got away, but no.
Yeah, we've had.
Yeah.
We haven't had as many puns as usual yet.
Sure.
I'm looking at you, chat. All right, I've got 7 on that initiative.
Okay. Oh, I can
sometimes just take longer to brew. It's fine.
I can see dropping my D20 was terrible.
Oh.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Do y'all have your numbers?
Yes. How would you like us to say them?
Okay.
In order?
25 to 20. No one? Okay. 20 to 15. Damn. 15 to 10.
14.
Okay. And what did you get?
Calabria.
Sorry.
Okay, I help.
So we have. What did you get, Calabria?
Calabria.
got a 12.
12. And Shauna?
14.
Bettina?
Yeah,
14.
14.
Okay. Okay, and then 10 to 5. Okay. Who has a higher number? What are your numbers?
I got 7.
Chewy is higher with 7. I have 6.
Oh.
Damn. It's almost alphabetical. It's so close. All right, so Bettina. Actually, no. Finish casting your message spell, Calabria. If that's what you want to do.
Yeah, I have to say something that's gonna be useful. Queen, it is your niece, Calabria. I heard the news. I'm too far away to help right now, but I'm figuring out how to be on my way to assist you. In the meantime, I'm going to go find my cousins as well.
And is this a thing that she can reply to? I immediately forgot afterwards. No? Okay. She's going to roll. That fell. She looks out into the crowd of wildness and just chaos, and she sees you, and she's like, and she gives like a big like hands in the air like thumbs up, and then she turns to Bettina and is like, all right, hi, what's your name?
My name is Bettina, madam. Bettina Scarlett. I'm here with the Chai Republic.
Cool. That's good. Hi.
I'm Aloysius!
Hi,
Holy
Aloysius.
rose hips, this is a mess!
I know. Hi, I'm the Earl Queen of
I'm going to very gently put my hand on her shoulder in a comforting way. But I am specifically, hang on. Oh no, where'd it go? What's it called? Come on, brain. Sorry, my brain just dropped all of its dice, as it were. I forgot the name of the thing that I want to do. It's a spell. It is identify. So I'm going to comfortingly touch her shoulder, and I would like to cast identify to find out if there are any spells currently affecting her.
All right. Are you trying to do this in a way that she can't tell, or are you trying to do this?
I'm gonna say, as I'm doing it, I'm gonna say, I want to make sure there's not any sorcery on you that shouldn't be there. It's gonna be. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be okay. Her husband just got murdered. That's holy rose hips. That's a terrible idea. All right. I'm gonna say, I will do everything I can to help you. I want to make sure there's no sorcery affecting you that shouldn't be.
All right. You cast it on her. What are the effects of detect magic? Is it just
So this is not detect magic. This is identify. It's if I touch a creature throughout the casting, I learn what spells, if any, are currently affecting that creature.
okay? You touch her and you see like in your mind you see kind of like similar to Terminator, like you see the like scan up and down with your magical abilities. You see that she has one spell on her. It's not a curse, it's not bad. It's just like a spell of like devotion and marriage and stuff like that that is quickly fading.
Oh, my heart.
Because yeah, they roll an intelligence or
May I make a suggestion of what stat to roll?
yeah.
This might be a good Arcana check or
Yeah.
religion, depending.
Let's go with Arcana.
Okay.
Oh.
27.
Yeah, I just looked at how much you add plus 12.
I do.
Jeez.
I chose my feats and things carefully.
Damn.
This character is a nerd wizard. She's a nerd, and I wanted her stats to reflect that.
Yeah, no. Yeah. In for certain kingdoms, they handle marriage and the ceremony of a coronation like differently. And for the Earl Kingdom, they handle it in a way of casting an enchantment, like the royal wizard casts an enchantment on the king and queen, queen or king, or sorry, queen or queen, the two royal
The
people.
monarchs in question.
Yes, the monarchs in question, with a sort of binding magic that makes it so when they work together, they're more powerful. When they are fighting, it makes like fighting against something, it makes them again more powerful. It's sort of a like a united thing. But kind of one of the downsides is that one of the plus sides and the downsides is that it gives you like more health and you live longer. But if one of you dies or like not really like unmarried, but like or sorry, divorced. But like if a thing is broken unlawfully or from negative means, it'll start to drain the other person's like life. It'll start to take away hit points in a mechanics way of putting it.
I see. Okay.
So she is, you can see on like inside of her, you see the liquid that's inside of her is slowly draining and slowly turning into like a weird acrid color. Like it's starting to turn icky, I guess is the best way to describe it. But like
would I know whether something like dispel magic would help that not would help the deleterious effects that she's currently experiencing?
Unfortunately, no.
Oh no. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And with a 27 Arcana check, which just we gotta say in chat, like that is amazing. that is so cool. But with a 27 Arcana check, you also know that normally it would go a lot faster. Normally the person would die a lot quicker, or at least be injured a lot more easily, but for some weird reason it's slowed, which I mean is a good thing right now, but like it's you notice a hint of offness with it. You notice that for some reason it's being stretched out more than normally. But yeah, no, as soon as you cast it, it's like a quick thought of like, this shouldn't be happening for this long. And then immediately it's kind of like the panic, you hear the screams come back again. You hear like not right about now, Carson would probably be up with you guys. There are a lot of stairs So I don't know if you would want to roll like an athletics check or something like that, just to make sure that like you're good with those stairs because they're intense, and you're under a lot of stress right now. So yeah, but yeah, Calabria, it is your turn now. As you're trying to make your way towards the queen, as you're trying to figure your way out, really the only possible way to get there is to go along the wall and head up the stairs. You roll a perception check, another perception check.
9.
9. You see a little bit of bodies that look similar to your like father and to your like, or sorry, no, not your father, your mother. Yeah, your mother, and some to your cousins and stuff like that, but it's like real quick. Again, it's chaos. And there's like the only area that is not very cluttered is the area where like right next to the wall, and you actually see kind of like a pod of a pod of boba guards, kind of like protecting the queen, sorry, the princess and the two kings, with their lives right now. So what would you like to do as you see all of that?
Okay. Well, first of all, I don't have either parents, so I can only see my two cousins.
Yeah.
Which are being guarded. But do the boba guards know who I am and that I am a noble?
Yeah, I'm gonna say they would. Again, Tealandia education is a lot better than American education. They actually know about other places, like up to date knowledge. So you're good.
Well, then, I'm gonna make my way towards the guards and just tell them that I need to get past and talk to my cousins.
Yep.
What they say.
Yeah, you see right in front, you see Chewy, who is like blocking the barricade, and in fact it's actually Chewy's turn. So if you guys want to have a conversation right now, that's perfect.
Oh, absolutely. Milady, we had just had an interaction out on the floor, and we know each other from meeting each other at multiple parties over the years. So I absolutely recognize Calabria immediately and understand the connection and all the families and all of that. So yeah, I will absolutely take Calabria and personally shepherd her where she needs to be to make contact with her cousins.
Yeah. Yeah, Charlie, as soon as you leave, just immediately fills your spot. And you roll a perception check, Mom. Sorry,
Also,
Friday.
Whatever. All right, let me see. That is a plus. Oh, nice. Okay, 18.
You feel a necromantic like figure on your shoulder, and as you turn, you see Blink, who is just kind of like right there, and you actually see a cool thing. Is that you actually see Milk Sadie's eyes, like in replacing the ghost. So you know, this is kind of like one of the perks of the Find Familiar spell. You know that the Milk Sadie's is watching you from his eyes. So,
classic. Yeah. Teamwork makes the dream work. I get it.
Yeah. What are your guys' speeds? Like how fast?
That's a good question. I haven't even looked. Where does that live? Oh, 40 feet walking and swimming.
Okay. And you, Clef? Calabria? What is your speed, Calabria?
I don't see that on here.
It's on the top right, like the last little thing.
Oh. 30 feet.
30 feet. Both of you, if you guys would like to dash or like cast any magic to like make you guys self faster, you guys make it around halfway through the hall, really close to the stairs. Chewy, is there anything else that you would like to do for your turn?
No, I think I just am putting myself in the position of being Calabria's personal escort and armed guard in this crisis. I see my bro buzz over there got the situation handled with the royal family, and technically I've been honorably discharged. I shouldn't have even been there. So once I get my head back on my shoulders here and simmer myself down, then I can realize that I didn't actually belong there and scoot out of there before someone realized that that my military uniform with the cleverly placed shawl is because I don't actually belong on the military force anymore. So I'm just going to go ahead and escort Calabria wherever she needs to be. So right now I'm her personal guard and escort, and that's my whole duty.
I do have some questions for you, Mom. When you were given last episode, a little sneak peek from last episode, when you were given that big crate of tapioca, did you eat it all?
No, I think I just kind of nibbled at it, and then I put the rest in my pocket. I probably ate about half, and then I put the rest away in my pockets alongside a mysterious bag of coffee beans.
Okay.
That I happen to have there. Just saying.
Yeah. You have sorry, I had to math for a second. You have 8 temporary hit points as the, weirdly enough, after you ate those, you've been feeling great. You've been feeling awesome. You've been feeling like so much better than you have, for a while. Also, have you eaten that necromantic aura
boba?
Boba?
Nah, I just put that in my pocket alongside the rest of my snack stash and the mysterious bag of beans. Cool. That I'm just gonna keep alluding to.
All right, then. All right, so you guys are making your way over there. And now it's Carson's turn. Carson, what are you doing? You see, as you're up there, you are right next to the queen. She notices that you are there, and you also see Bettina.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna just walk right up, introduce myself, say, "Hey, hello, my name is Carson. I am a professionally trained cleric. Please take me to the body. I believe we can resolve this very quickly. Where do I find the king's body?"
Yes. Well, okay. Look, honestly, we have to wait a little bit. There was something in there that I don't know. It was making some sort of noise that knocked out the king. I don't.
Ma'am, there is no time to wait. Every moment that passes is a moment where the king slips farther from us. If we can get in there right now, I can bring him back in this very instant.
All right. And she leads you, Bettina, and a guard that is standing next to her. He's not really a guard, but actually her son. So you all run into the office where the king usually does meetings and stuff like that. It's a very beautiful office. A lot of wood, a lot of like cozy vibes, except for like a large smattering of blood. And you see a tall, 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 slender man with elongated arms, the palest skin that you have ever seen in your life. Like it is just slightly off shade of white. And it's not actually skin. I misspoke. It's very see-through tea that is just a slightly tinted yellow. He has the glass bug. I'm trying to say something creepy. He has the glass skin and the whole tea liquid genasi sort of deal. Very long arms. Has pointy ears that are around like this big. Has a worried look on his face as he pulls a dagger from the king's chest. Now, let me describe to you what the king looks like. He is sprawled out on the ground, with blood covering his torso from his now cut off ear, to his throat, which has been slit, and another bug. I'm trying to tell something scary, and another slash through the chest as you see bubbling tea coming out, acting like if someone was cut and blood was gushing out, but it's like with tea, because tea world. And on the back portrait, there's like this huge family crest portrait. You see what looks to be like straight up blood, like actual blood that you would see from tea leaf genasi, written in this rune that is like a misshapen S with like a little strike between it that is like a curve and then another elongated curve and then a small like little hook. And it's dripping in blood, and that is covering the son's face, and that is covering the king's face. So yeah. And you see the long, tall, slender man. Not Slender Man, but the like he's very limmy, he's very skinny, so you see him kind of like look like very like alarmed and very much like, oh god, what has just happened. And he grabs his dagger from outside of the he grabs a dagger out of the king's chest and says sorry, and immediately teleports away. And you just hear the sound of sugar crickets.
Cool. I am
Can I
making.
cast counterspell
Ooh.
so he can't
No.
teleport away?
Well, you can roll for it, but it's a ninth. He's using his 9th level spell slot for a counterspell, or for a teleport. He's using a wish right now.
Make an ability check using your spellcasting ability. DC equals 10 plus the spell's level. Oh geez. Well, let's try it. I'm gonna use the digital dice so it will count the numbers for me.
Yeah.
Did it actually show me the numbers? Of course it didn't, because that would be useful. Oh no, I didn't want to go to the builder. Stop. Sorry, D&D Beyond has chosen violence.
Yeah.
Where is my
I feel like every machine has chosen violence all day for everybody. Like it's just one of those days.
Sorry.
See what happens with the queen's mech child.
Try that again.
I'm letting you know that if you roll it, because he's casting a wish spell to get out of here. If you roll a natural 20, you will be able to get him back in here. other than that, the DC is extremely, extremely high.
Okay.
Suspense.
So, there's my spell modifier. It's +4. Okay, one sec. Yeah, no, it didn't work. I can
What do you
tell you that it did not work. I got a total of 10. It did not work.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
You
That did.
you see him whisper something underneath his breath, say sorry, and teleport away. Immediately gone. And you hear silence, except one sugar cricket in a golden cage doing a little cricket noises. Just he'll keep doing it until someone tells him to stop or happens.
The second this individual is gone, I am making a beeline towards the king's body. As this is happening, I'm already pulling out an amulet and some spell casting components, so that the second I reach him, I can cast Revivify.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. Y'all, I haven't played, I don't know
You're good.
a lot of D5.
You're good.
How does the spell Revivify work?
So the stipulation on Revivify is they have to have died in the last minute. That's why speed was important here, to get there before, it had been too long. There are some optional rules that people will use where you might need to make a skill check. Famous example of that is Matt Mercer's rule, where you've got to beat a 10, and each time someone dies, the DC goes up 1. I've also seen other versions that are a little more roleplay heavy, but that's kind of up for you for how you'd like to do that. And you could also tell me, hey, it's been longer than a minute, but I'm hoping that I can get in under the deadline.
So a minute is 10 rounds, right?
Yes.
Okay, so it's been 2 rounds. It's been a couple of seconds. You guys have dashed. You guys are fast. You run over to the body. And you see, like, pulling out all of your things in a feverish sweat. Even though you seem calm, you are terrified. You are sweating. You are, like, having close to a nervous breakdown. And you see the king covered in blood, all cut up. And I would like you to roll a medicine check to see if he is at a stage where you can revivify him. And I would say now Chewy and Clara Bria are now in the room. You guys have run into the room, and the blood, and you see the whole thing. You see the sigils, you see the dead body. You didn't, however, see the person teleport away. You just see Bettina with, like, her hand out, and that's it.
And Carson power sliding over to this corpse.
Yeah. That is a 22 on my medicine check.
A 22 on your medicine check. All right. So you can tell that it has been like 1 second after the time that you can revivify him. But you also know that he's not fully dead. He's not fully dead. He is. That's why there's so much blood gushing out of him. That's why it's because his heart is still pumping. He's not dead yet.
that makes sense.
The person who killed him did not do a good job at it.
I'll put some of my stuff away. I will switch gears immediately and cast Cure Wounds at a very high level.
All right. Roll the thing. Roll the dice. I don't know.
Let's for funsies, let's cast Cure Wounds at 4th level.
Great.
So that'll be that's 30 hit points. He regains 30 hit points.
You see the healing. By the way, please describe how your magic looks.
Sure. So as I do this, I take a moment. I've got like a holy symbol in one hand. It's like very. It's a very fancy teaspoon, is what it is. Let's be real here.
Love it.
It's a very fancy, ornately carved teaspoon with like an image of the brewer on the handle. And as I kind of hold that in one hand, place it on the king's chest. With the other, I pull out a little bit of like dust that I have. We'll say that it's tea leaves of some sort, just intended to kind of help staunch the bleeding and make sure that everything heals quickly. There's this swirl as I drop these tea leaves on and place my second hand over my first hand with the tea. And there's a moment as it happens where it actually looks, you can almost see this swirling like too much sugar in the bottom of a cup of tea, where it just doesn't all dissolve into it, as it looks as though like for a moment the blood and the injuries seem to swirl back into place where they should be.
You do that. And as you cast it, and I'm sorry, but this might disappoint you. As you cast this healing spell, you cast Cure Wounds, you do the whole thing, and you've done this multiple times. You know what's supposed to happen. You've seen it multiple times. It doesn't happen. You see the blood coil back into where it's supposed to go, and yet as soon as you stop, as soon as the magic fades, it immediately goes back into blood everywhere. Blood on the painting, blood on his face, smeared as a hand resting like this. You see blood cut. It's worse now. But I would like you to roll a perception check. And someone roll an Arcana check.
Sure, I was gonna say I got a 16 on the perception. Does this feel to me like there's something inhibiting the healing whatsoever?
Yes.
17 on Arcana.
Great. One more time, what was the perception check? What did
I got
you get?
a 16.
16. Fudge, yeah. You both noticed that one, from the perception check, that Carson, you see out of the corner of your eye, Queen Gray is now her blood, what's inside of her tea, is turning less crude. It's turning more into, it's turning lighter. It's turning, and Bettina, you notice that there's like a quick flash where you quickly switch your vision to Aloysius, and you see this fine line, a glowing light that is which you would know is the connection between the king and the queen, of them being married. You know that she is not only like becoming more healthy, there's something wrong. There is a pit where their health is going, but it's not where it should be. You see this line that goes in between them, and then a line that goes straight down into the ground. And you just keep on seeing it move. You don't see anything. It's similar to a scrying spell. You don't see anything around it. You just see this pure, and as it comes to the ground, it starts to get thicker and bigger and more gross and more mushy and more sliding together. In old in like zombie comic books where like you see like the gross skin coming off and the flesh coming off and you see those like glob things. That's what's happening to it. It's separating apart and then smashing together, making it bigger as it continues to go down, and you just see it getting bigger and then immediately just snapped right back into where you are right now. You notice that Queen Gray is becoming okayer. The king is still dead, and you know that he cannot be brought back because he is not, in the traditional sense, dead. He is in a weird parallel where magic cannot affect his body.
Does that mean that if I were to cast Dispel Magic, it would do nothing to what's going on with him?
Yeah, nothing. He's stuck in this dead position. No magic can affect him. Nothing can. He is bleeding profusely. Is that a word?
Profusely.
I think profusely is the word you're looking for.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I combined profuse.
Yeah.
It's okay. I knew what you meant.
Totally.
I combined copious and a different word together, and
Yeah.
but you can't bring him back. He is dead. He is straight up dead. You can try. He's also not dead. It's a weird in between state that you cannot fix at all. And you see Queen Gray, a tear running down her eye, a crude milk, something weird. It's not what tears normally are in this world, which is just, like tea. But like it's a weird thing that leaves a stain in her glass. And
Something is going into the ground, right? Is that's what you said?
Yes. Yeah. You saw through Aloysius's eyes for a split second a faint line between the king who is dead and Queen Gray connecting in the middle, going down to which is now turning into a glowing rod of gloopy grossness that is heading straight into the ground, getting thicker and thicker by the minute.
Can I tell how deep it's going?
You saw it go deeper into the ground. Like, you saw it go through probably like miles into the ground, not hitting to the other side of the coin, but going so deep that it could probably hit it quickly. Like, it's going fast, but also it's staying in one spot. It's going down and then it's meeting a spot right there. And it's just big and it keeps moving. You don't know where it is, but that's what you saw. I know it's gross. Yeah.
Gross, I don't care about. I'm just mystified.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to ask that hot cocoa guy some questions, except that I'm not actually sure he knows anything useful to this situation.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll think about it as we go to break, because I'm thirsty. So we're going to go to break for now while all of you all think about some stuff, and yeah. So, bye.
Sounds good. See you in a bit, everybody.
break, last that we left off, just a real quick recap, we figured out that the king is cursed and that he is dead. Well, in like a little like iffy sort of death way, if that makes sense at all. We also saw a creepy necromantic, right? Yeah, necromantic energy coming from the king and the queen's relationship heading towards the ground and stopping deep, deep underground. So what that means, we don't know. But we return to the scene where Carson, that your magic has failed. Well, partially. And Bettina, you see that the queen is a little bit healthier, but still is dying, and a little tear staining her glass forever. Now we're out of the initiative sort of thing, so it's kind of now just you guys do what you're gonna do.
Do I recognize the sigils that have been painted in blood on the portraits? Because that's not creepy and weird.
Roll a. I don't want to say Arcana,
but isn't it though?
It kind of is. So
perhaps my dice will be with you. Perhaps they will be with me.
I'm going to say that it's an investigation check because you are investigating the sigils.
That's fine.
Because a plus 12 is kind of like an automatic success, which is cool. But like, what?
I got a 12 total.
Oh. All right. You look at these sigils and you see that it is like you've seen it in books and stuff. Probably the library would have some good information on it. The Royal Library in the Earl Kingdom.
It's research time.
Exactly.
Aloysius has played this game. He's like, oh, we've reached the point where you don't know a thing. We should go find out the thing.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, it's slightly familiar. It's a little bit familiar. You do know that it's an aggressive sigil, and that it's just like, it's like on the tip of your tongue. It's on the tip of your brain. But then it's kind of like, all right, well, research is what we have to do. So
okay. And along those same lines, do I recognize anything about the person with the dagger, or maybe the way the person was dressed, or his accent, maybe? Or the style of murder?
Okay. I would say you're going full on Sherlock Holmes. So I'm gonna say roll another investigation check.
16.
What?
16.
You notice that the kill was sloppy. You notice that it was that it seemed very hurried, and definitely is not like an assassination job. It was definitely not a thing to like actually kill the king. It was just to harm him intensely bad, and now he can't be healed. So it's kind of like a oh well, this will do the job. And you also know that part of it is an illusion, like a cast illusion. There isn't blood all over him. His throat isn't slit cut. It's just the chest, and the gurgling part of the blood. That's all the same, except for the things that you see that aren't an illusion, that quickly fade after the person is gone. You see still the handprint on the face of blood kind of like smeared. You see the cut through the chest with gurgling tea blood, and you see the runes, and that's it. There is no blood. Like his ear is still there. His arms are clean. The rest of his body is essentially like perfectly fine and okay. It's just a large cut in the chest and a handprint on the right on the left side of his face. Kind of in the like holding position of like someone who knew him. And you also notice that so you were looking for how the person was killed. What was the other thing? You were curious about
specifically the kinds of things that I think my character would know would be more on the anthropological and sociological side of things, and not necessarily, oh, it's that guy from the Tea&amp 7-Eleven 3 years ago. Like nothing like that. I don't know why I said Tea&amp 7. I don't know. I don't know.
It's now canon. It's now canon. You know a guy from Tea&amp 7-Eleven who is an absolute.
Wait. Can his name be Steve?
It is now.
It is now. It is now. I mean, hold on. This is so good and so dumb all in the time. Is it? Hold on. Is it Steve or is it Teve?
I mean,
Steve.
T
Cool.
the.
You know, I love my players chat, but like sometimes I just want a meteor to like just come from the skies and like.
Because you love us too much?
Yeah, because I love you too much.
That's why.
So, Bettina is over here doing some Sherlock Holmes nonsense. As this is happening, I kind of realizing, that there's this curse thing. I'm gonna kind of look around. I was able to see that this is also affecting the queen somehow.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to turn to the rest of the group to Chewie, to Calabria, to whomever the other random individual who came with us was.
You notice that there are two more people than you originally saw. You've probably met both of them at least once. That being charm.
Host a good party.
Yeah, and you also see the king's son, one of the people who has the rune like painted in blood like on his face, standing with a spear and like a shield with the crest of the king, which is also the seal of the king. They're the same thing. You guys all saw them on your boxes.
Sure.
But yeah, you see the king's son, and he is like tears streaming from his face, but just stone cold face, but just tears.
All right. So, knowing that sometimes in times of crisis, someone has to take charge, Carson is gonna turn to everyone and be like, all right, we're going to need to clear the room. If we could bring a couple of clerics in here, kind of looking at maybe whomever is not one of our 4 players, but also not the queen or the queen's son. If there's another guard or individual around, can you arrange for some clerics to be brought in to make sure that the king is made comfortable? He is not currently dead, but he is also suffering under the effects of a curse that we must remove. I will turn to Chewie and Calabria and Bettina, who's clearly in thought, and I will say, we need to solve this right now. And then I will turn to the son and I will say, and you, sir, you need to get somewhere safe right now.
you see, first off, one of the guards, who is not Chewie, or Charlie, or any of the boba tea. You see a Leaf Genasi, in full plate, like shiny full plate armor, with a little crow thing on its like a crow, like shadow of a crow on the breastplate, and a mask of the like a plague doctor mask, and looks to you and nods and immediately runs off to the nearest church, which is like half a day's walk, maybe less. It's a lot longer. It's a little bit longer because of the people still like freaking out. But like it's pretty close. Anyways, and then you see the son, who again, tears rolling down his face, stone face, just screams, looks to you, looks to everyone else, breathes, and turns to his mother and says, "All right, come on, we gotta go, and we'll be in the pantry. We'll be safe there. There's a room. I don't know if people can hear, but we'll be safe." And he grabs her around the wrist and pulls her towards the pantry. Everyone roll an insight check.
I was just gonna say, can I roll an insight check? Because that seems sketch.
Yeah.
Nat 20, baby.
30, 20. No, sorry, I can't do math. Let me try again. 18.
18? Right?
18, yeah.
And 21. Finally, something over 10.
24.
Oh, nice. Wow. Okay. First off, you notice both of them crying, but only Queen Gray is like showing facial like movements, looking like she is crying. Like she is like doing the whole breathing thing and everything, and the showing the fact that she is crying. It is genuine. It is truthful. It is real. Whereas with that fudging natural 20, you see the stream of tears on. I'm going to let you all know the son's name. His name is, where is it? Is Julius Fogg. He's
Julius Fogg.
Yeah, like the London Fogg.
I love it.
Yeah. But you see Julius, just his like the tear lines flicker for just a nanosecond.
Can I cast Dispel Magic on him?
Well, you don't. What did you roll again?
I rolled an 18.
19. She
18.
rolled a natural 20. That is what she sees. She sees the flicker of tears.
Sure.
Did my 24 see that as well?
No, it's a natural 20. You would have to the total was a 30, but a natural 20 is an auto succeed. So
okay, specifically I was wondering if we would notice that he wasn't being genuine. Not the tear flicker thing.
Oh. Yeah,
because this seems very sus.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He is there to do a job, and that job is to get his mother out of the way, because he's got something planned and she's fucking with it. I mean, fudging with it. I'm sorry for the ratings.
Whatever. Just...
But she's messing around with it, and he needs to get her out of the way. And yeah, there's a hint of genuine, like, oh wow, I didn't know that it would be like this. I didn't know that it would be this intense. but he's like, I need to get her out of here or else she's going to blow our cover.
So Julius Fogg is literally the worst child actor of all time, is like so blatantly involved in a like patricidal plot that like he's not even being chill about hiding it, and all of us can tell. I'm just the only one that happened to see that particular detail because I'm used to keeping eyes on like teen royalty.
Yeah. By the way, he does have like some lavender in his like tea because he's a lavender fog, lavender London fog. So I just wanted to share that like tiny little detail.
That's just a fashion detail.
I want to drink that latte.
Yeah.
I want fan art of Julius Fogg, but I also want to like smack him in his dumb little face a little bit. How dare you?
Yeah.
Can I intervene?
You can certainly try.
Are the rest of the players cool if I intervene here?
I kind of
Yeah.
feel like Calabria might be the one to do that.
Well, I mean, the whole thing I was thinking is like, Julius and Queen Gray just need to go in the closet like they said they were going to, go in the pantry, and we can't be wasting any more time. We need to go find the lanky murderer.
Lanky murderer.
We've already had all this time to get away.
I mean, he teleported. We have no way of knowing how
Yeah.
far away that is.
That's very true.
And it's a wish spell, so he could have wished to be anywhere.
There's no kill like overkill.
Yeah, I certainly think that Tree would at least like make a little like start, at least be poised to jump in and intervene. But I feel like might be kind of torn between the self-given task of bodyguarding Calabria and like, wait a minute, I know that sneaky little shit royalty teen face. So I do feel like I'll be poised to back you up, but I don't think I'd be as quick on the draw as you to like get up in there.
Well, I mean, since I'm related to this bad teenager, maybe I can like talk to him and be like, what's more important right now is for you to take care of your mom and let us continue figuring out how to take care of the king and hopefully get some justice for this terrible crime.
Yeah. So I'm gonna let you know if that is the end of your conversation. But if that's cool. But if you guys are going to continue to talk, he's going to continue to move. He is trying because both in just a genuine like he is a trained fighter. He knows when to get out of a dangerous situation and how to. And he just saw his father die. Then like he knows like, okay, next in the line is my mother, so I have to get her out of the way. I have to make sure that she isn't stabbed. That not all of your high rolls messed with my plans.
Roll with it, baby. I want to know what Carson's up to.
Yeah, no, so here's the thing. I think I see them going, and I see, like, all these other interactions and these little things happening, right? Because I'm super insightful, right? I've got a +8 on insight. So I'll see all this, then I'll go, yeah, no, that doesn't cut it for me. And I'm going to just, like, take a step forward and just, like, right now, you are the two remaining you're the next two in line for the throne. I think perhaps it would be wisest to place a significant guard over wherever you are. And while that might mean that the pantry isn't the place to hide, you should have probably at least like 10 guards around you at all times until this is resolved.
For that. What if I cast a tiny hut? It protects, it'll have enough space for the two of them, or if y'all need me to stay back, I can stay. And it'll give us at least some time to clear the room ensure the safety of the queen? Could we even put the king in there and also put Julius in there? And if he wants to talk mess or get into any trouble, is he able to get out? And am I going to be safe with this cousin of mine in this hut?
Is that a question for me?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I rolled for
Can't read all of it, but it's just a spell, and it lasts for 8 hours.
Yeah.
You have to remain inside the area
Yeah.
of Tiny Hut for the duration of the spell, though. If you leave, the spell ends.
Yeah.
Question.
So you have to pick a place and then stay there. From what I've seen on Critical Role, which they're awesome, but like from what I've seen on there, you have to stay inside of the hut. Like you can poke your head out and stuff, but you have to stay most of your body inside of the hut, and then if you like
Well,
hours, and then you can leave.
okay, the casting time takes 11 minutes. It also says that it can put anyone in the hut. It doesn't mean that I have to be in the hut.
Oh.
Well, yeah, so other people, you can designate who can and can't go in and out of the hut, but you do have to stay in the hut for
Yeah,
the
it
duration
does
of the
say
spell.
the spell ends if you leave its area.
Oh. Well,
however, that's up to the DM to decide whether that's how that works in Tealandia.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that it is. Make it a little bit more challenging, but also a little bit more fair. But yeah, no. You have a quick moment of like, oh right, I would have to stay, and being in a room with a trained fighter and my queen, and not knowing what could happen, it might not be a good idea.
That makes me nervous just knowing that even though I am a part of the royal family, I don't associate with these people very often. I wish I could just cast it over them and be like, okay, time out, we're gonna go. But that's not gonna work here. So I'm at a little bit of a loss then.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, this is a quick thing. Okay. Just to let you all know, both chat and also crew, I rolled a 3 on his like insight check. He doesn't know that you guys are trying to mess with him and trying to be like protecting the queen. He is just completely focused on trying to get out of here and get the queen like to safety. So he's still trying to, like, though it may not be fast, he is still trying to leave the room, and he's still grabbing her wrist.
Sure. And just a point of clarification, from our insight checks, while we may not know that he means to do her harm, we do know that he is not to be trusted in this moment.
You know that he won't be doing harm to her, and you also know that you can't fully trust him. But with a high enough insight check, you do know that he is not going to harm her.
Okay, I feel less concerned about leaving them alone now. I was under the impression that he was going to go assassinate her in the cupboard, not going to lie.
That was also my impression. But I do have a question. Doesn't Julius have a sister? And where is she?
Yes, he does. She right now is having we'll do like a little quick cut scene. She is hyperventilating in a corner with Milksades because they're best friends. Like they both get each other really, really well, and it's like an adorable relationship, and they're so cute together. But she's having a panic attack right now. She is like, my father just died. I don't know what's happening. Like, oh God. she is completely an above the board sort of moment. She is completely out of the loop. She does not know what about anything that's going on, about any of the illusions, about anything that her brother was in on it, anything at all. All she knows, or in on something. You guys don't know what the it is. All she knows is that her father is truly dead, and that something bad is happening, and she's hyperventilating in a corner with her friend Milksadie's, and that is it.
Okay.
We cut back to this.
Alois
is-
just launches himself from my shoulder and goes and flies at his face. I mean, like, you should take some guards with you.
All right. Are you okay? Are you trying to attack him?
No, I am trying to distract him, and raise a ruckus so that maybe more of the guards that are around will be like, "Oh, right, important people. We should probably, I don't know, guard them."
I will ask you to roll a persuasion check with disadvantage. Because
Fair enough.
you are using your crow to, in my mind, like essentially like make a lot of movement in front of the prince's face, making other people maybe think that he is being attacked by a crow, by a raven. So
Can I call Aloysius back and be like, look, no, stop, but no, it is not the noise time.
sure.
But the bird's not wrong. Y'all should probably send a couple of guards with them. You still want me to roll with disadvantage? I can.
Honestly, I think you've dodged it for now. He's pissed, but honestly, he's like, yeah, no, but that's a good idea. And he says, like, he shouts out, and 4 guards come like running in, full plate armor, same sort of situation. Instead of having like a shadow of a raven or like a bird thing, instead they have a cup of tea with the brewer's insignia on it, or like religious insignia on it, and they grab them, go to the to like their cellar slash like bunker area, and they are gone. All you guys have left are the dead body and the other guards, who are completely confused, a little bit heartbroken, and I want like a quick montage of what you guys do for the next hour. So, everybody roll initiative, just so that we can like again do that quick checklist thing. Okay, 25 to 20. 20 to 15.
16.
Also a 16.
Also 16.
17.
Okay.
What are the chances?
And then all of you roll. Wait, who has the higher dex?
My dex is 14.
Okay, 14.
Mine's just, I have no modifier. It's 10.
Okay. And then
Mine's 11 with no modifier.
okay, so then we'll do Bettina,
And then Calabria and then Carson.
thank you.
It helps to remember it kind of starts in a similar way as the word California.
Yeah, no, that has been helping me. Okay, so Chewy, what do you do in the next hour? I will let you all know that the crowd has settled Remember in Shmary Potter, where in the Great Hall after the when everyone was sleeping in the Great Hall and it was like rows of people sleeping. It's similar to that, but it's just people sitting and like calming down, and like there's several clerics who have gone up to the king, and a couple of clerics who are like casting like calm emotion and stuff like that, and helping people calm down. And the clerics are like trying their best, but nothing is happening. They are completely confuzzled. So yeah, that is kind of like what's happening around you guys during this hour. What are you guys doing? Chewy.
Okay, so yeah, Chewie is definitely keeping an eye on the royal children. It's a very natural role for them. It's kind of where they've always found themselves most leaning in their palace days. And even though there isn't like a formal military assignment here, it does seem to be one of those trauma situations where people just need to be good neighbors and take care of each other. So Chewie is very much keeping an eye on all the children that are gathered at this event, probably telling grand stories to keep them distracted and entertained. Overall, just making sure that the kids are safe and taken care of and distracted so that the adults can handle what they need to handle, while also staying close enough to this core group to kind of keep an ear on any news that might pop up.
I love that. You have Milk Sadie's, you have Baron Black, which is the daughter, the fourth child. You have Chamamale, who is a bird obsessed.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I did this on purpose.
You did. Chamamale.
Yeah, who is the son who is the prince of the Tisania kingdom, who is obsessed with birds. We have Wilbur the bear, who is the sweet tea nation prince, and who's very, very kind. And then we've got like other kids that are also there that are in like their mid-teens. And then there's like one or two babies and their mothers are just there kind of like holding them and like rocking them back to sleep. It's a very sweet and kind yet semi-sad moment in this, but with the stories and the tales, it becomes just like a beacon of light and joy and hope. Great. Is that all that you want to be doing in this hour? I would say that takes like around 30 minutes or 40 minutes.
I think that taking care of children is an ongoing task.
Great. Yes.
I can easily spend an hour entertaining kids and keeping them busy so that the adults can do what they need to do to process and handle the situation. So yeah, and just generally keep my ear out for any other way that I might be of service. But yeah, that's I think that's a pretty full hour for me.
Yeah, Charlie is standing next to you with little finger puppets, just like helping out.
My best broba.
Yeah. But yeah, if that's it, we'll move on. Okay. Bettina, what are you doing in this hour?
Okay. So, after using minor conjuration to make myself a strange but fashionable looking hat for the detecting and researching of things,
Love it.
I am going to go to the library with Aloysius. And if there was a guard who was like, "Yes, I will come with you," so that people don't sneak up on you and stab you or some crap, that would be nice.
Yeah.
I am. But I want to make sure before I go to the library to have taken down a sketch of the runes and like the what's different between these two pictures of before and after the illusions were dispelled. And maybe everything I can remember about the person doing the stabbing and the knife with which he was stabbed. Pretty much writing down everything I can about the scene before I take it to the library because memory is not reliable.
Yes.
Yes.
Roll a performance check just to see how or not performance check. I'm so sorry. Roll a. I wish that there was like a note taking check.
You could use history for that.
Yeah.
Or investigation, whichever.
Roll a history check that you have a +8 on.
That's a 24.
Jeez. Oh my god.
Look, my character is good at some specific things.
Wow. Yeah, no, like you're the perfect detective right now. Okay. Wow. Okay, yeah, no, you straight up you take perfectly detailed like it's the perfect beautiful like Pinterest looking like sketches and notes, and like you annotated and you got out like these like differently burnt like twigs that are like fantasy highlighters essentially, and like circling stuff, and you have like little tiny like you add like a tiny bit of like your just some magic charm that rolls off of you that like slightly animates the picture so it looks so then you can see like the blood gushing out and like see like the it shimmers and it changes to what the illusion looked like and then shimmers back to show what it actually looked like.
I love that.
It's perfect. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It is like every detail, every note is like on top of it.
Can I say it's because of I have a quill of prestidigitation?
Yes, love it. I love it. Yes.
Excellent. All right,
Honestly,
so I will take myself off to the library and hopefully with at least one guard because
you get
there's a murderer. There's a murderer.
From that point, you get inspiration. You get 1d8. That's too good. Like the amount of puns, it's too good. All right. Yeah, no, you have a guard that is following you and is making like he keeps an eye out on everything. He has like a little charm that has like an eye that's like in the shape of an eye and that kind of glows every time he like looks around. But like he's just like, yep. And he even when you are in the library, if that's where you're going, he will hold like your books and stuff. He's very nice.
That's very kind. Also, my strength is very low, so I appreciate the help with this large stack of books.
No problem.
For those following along at home, my strength is 8. Like I said, there are things I'm very specifically good at, and there are several other things I'm not.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what Bettina is up to, along with Aloysius, who still does not respect the rule about being quiet in the library.
Yeah.
I've tried. He just won't.
Yeah. So you are so you've made perfect notes, perfect magical notes. You've gotten a guard to follow you into the library. What are you looking for in the library? I would say that the notes and the finding a guard is like 30 minutes at most.
I'm specifically looking up that sigil because I know I've seen it before. I know, but I cannot for the life of me remember what it is. So I'm looking for that and also looking up any context clues that I can think of about like what style this dagger is and the really shitty job the really crappy job that guy did with the murdering and like what he was wearing and that sort of thing. But especially the sigil.
So you want to find out the sigil
and the weird drainy sludgy curse.
Okay. I will say that you will have time in this hour to search up the sigil and maybe depending on what you roll, the person, and that's pretty much it. You don't really have time to like search what the weird sludgy magic thing was. You do know that it was necromantic, so that kind of sharpens it down a little bit. But it's gonna take a long time to figure out what it actually is. All right. Roll me an intelligence check. As you walk into this library, it is the library. It's a combination of the Washington University Library and the Hogwarts Library and the Beauty and the Beast Library. It is large, magical, and intense, and it's infinite, essentially. So
This is even more grand than the library back home.
yeah. All right.
I rolled a 16.
16. You find not only because this was a semi-low DC. You find not only do you find the meaning of the runes, which are betrayer and I'm in my brain I keep on wanting to say necrophiliac, but that's not the word. That's not. It's a weird. Okay, what languages do you speak?
Me or Bettina?
Bettina.
Oh, that's a good question. I'm not sure I defined that. Oh, I did. Do I remember doing this? I do not. Common, Draconic, Elvish, and Primordial.
Great. All you needed was Elvish because, yeah. But you see that it is both a Draconic sigil. I was about to say rigil, but no. It is a Draconic sigil mixed. It's a combination of Draconic and Elvish. The Draconic part is traitor, which can often be mistranslated as like bringer of. And then the Elvish part of it is like the root word necro. So it's like bringer of necromancy, bringer of undead, stuff like that. And it's in an aggressive, because in Draconic, depending on the way that the word has been written, conveys different ways of saying it. This is a specific way of saying. It's like saying "f you." It is an insult. It is aggressive. It is not good. It is a high, like I'm going to f you up, sort of deal.
Okay.
Sort of energy, and then it's
like you necromantic son of a monkey.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
And it's like bringer of dead, bringer of necro, and or it could be traitor necro or traitor of necro of the undead, something like that. Like it's not a cohesive word because it doesn't make sense. But it seems like someone tried to frantically write something down, just trying to convey something, but it didn't come out the way that they wanted to.
It's Leviosa, not Leviosa.
Exactly. It's a pronunciation sort of
situation. Okay.
Where it could mean so many things in so many different ways. So it's you know what it means.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, I'll just be over here nerding out in the place with the books.
Yeah. So
for as long as you'll let me.
Yeah, you not only find out that, you also find out that shoot, what was the other thing that you were looking for?
Looking at context clues for like the style of dagger, the style of attempted murder, the style of dress, the accent, the appearance, whatever. Context clues.
So you didn't get a quick enough glance to look at the dagger. You did hear the speech and the voice of the person real quickly. This is a person from the Oversteeped Kingdom. It was a thick, oversteeped tongue. It was a oversteeped accent. And the garb of it was of a royal garb. So yeah. But not only do you find that out, you also find out you find in the back of the library, where it seems like it has just been put here like pretty recently, you find these files. And on the top of them you see Project Mush. And we're going to cut from this part. We're going to stop here for right now, and we're going to move to Calabria.
Please, I really want to find out what everybody else is doing.
What are you doing right now?
I was thinking that I want to like go and kind of like ask the people that are still there what they witnessed, if they like, if anybody saw it kind of happen or saw maybe where the murder like vanished off to, even though they teleported, it could have been in a certain direction and we could maybe find the place that it went, or if they're able to describe the weapon, or even how some of the people around had reacted to it, just in case there's other people that were in on it.
Definitely. So, what is like the top thing that you want to try and find out? Like, do you want to find out what people saw? Okay.
Yeah, I think like based off what they saw, they can kind of be able to explain to me like how they felt about it, or I could read their gestures, or if what they saw was either the person or the weapon. Basically asking them what they saw would give me more information.
All right. I would say roll just a flat I would say roll a charisma check with advantage.
Yes. It's a 21.
Nice. Wait, did you roll a natural 20?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Sorry, I have your stats up, you guys. So I'm that's awesome. You see Chewie telling stories, and you walk up to Wilbur, who is the bear child, who's wearing a huge pot on his head, like a huge cast iron pot on his head. He's playing a little banjo music to kind of like add to the story. He has a good on smile. And you kind of like tap him on the shoulder and bring him aside, and he just like, well, what I did say was I did say a little bit, and he's a lot quieter, but I don't know how to do Southern accent quietly. But he says like, what I did say was that a man with like a nice suit came in with his queen, with his what I would assume was his bride, and they mention each other's names, which I felt was a little odd because like they weren't introduced at all. to the whole crowd. But I mean, they're gonna do what they're gonna do, and sometimes people are just late, and you know what? That's fine. People have a certain amount of caffeine in their body, and they move a certain amount, and if they move slowly one day, that's fine. Like spirit. Anyways, you have to like get him on track several times. He moved he just says, anyways, they said each other names a couple of times. One of them said, Buddha. It's not that bad, dwarvish word. Is the boo like boo ha the tab like taffy. So Buddha. And the tall man with the like long arms said Buddha. Or sorry, no, his wife said Buddha to him, and he called her Rikanta. That I'm sorry, my southern accent is harmful to these words. They may sound like they're bad words, but really I'm just trying to convey their names. It's hard for me. But they seem like they were from the Bitter family. I did see a couple of the guards check them for weapons. They had none of them on them. They were completely clear cut. I do know that both of them don't do any sort of magic-y stuff. Or at least they don't show that they do a lot of magic stuff. They're not very strong or wise or charismatic like sweet honey on a piece of toast. But but I will tell you, they were real nice. They were real skittish, but they were real nice. Not like skittish in like a bad way, but like skittish in a way of like a I'm nervous because I have a cake baking and I don't want it to burn sort of way. But I have to go do my laundry in that sort of way. It's very much of a way of I need to get something done, but also I have another thing that's happening right now, and it's just not there's colliding things. But yeah, I think that they were like the Bitter family. I don't know, from the Oversteep. It was definitely from the Oversteep Kingdom. But like honestly, I was drinking a lot of mead then, so I don't fully know. But yeah. Am I interrupting your story time, Chewy? Like, am I too loud? And he like talks to you. We can't hear you, by the way.
Wilbur, you have such a way with words, and you always do know how to spin a good story. I'll say that for you. But my friend, you may want to keep an eye on that cake. Don't you forget.
Oh, I don't have a real cake. I ate a lot. It's not actually cooking. It was just. I think that the English folk, or sorry, the Earl folk call it a metaphor.
Yeah, I see, Wilbur. Well, yeah. Finally spun.
Yeah. Anyways, I gotta go get back to the story time thing. I hope that helped you in any way. And you know what? If you ever need like an extra bottle of honey, just call on me, and I will certainly help you out. Sometimes you gotta fall, and then he goes on to this like mini like long metaphor about like following bees into a bee's nest because he once did that and got like a bunch of honey. He did get sting like several times, but like it was good because he got some sweetness out of it, and like you just gotta follow your sweetness. Like he goes into that. It's a lot longer than me saying it, but then he goes back to the story time and like sits down and just continues plays banjo. This character.
I don't want to talk to anybody else right now.
Well, all right. Is that all you is that all you need from old Wilbur?
Definitely.
All right. And if that's it, we'll move on to Carson. Is that it? We're good? All right, Carson, what you want to do during this hour? You hear a talking Southern bear talking to another person. We hear story time, and we see another person go to the library.
Before everyone splits, I will just take 1 minute, or not even a full minute, just an action, just a moment, 6 seconds, just to cast Rare's telepathic bond so we can communicate telepathically. I'll include Bettina's research assistant. I'll probably like include the head guard who's chilling with the queen and the prince, just so that like information is shared. So as you know, Bettina learns stuff, we'll learn stuff. Yeah. Really, that's it. I want to learn all the stuff and coordinate security.
The guard's name is Timothy.
Timothy is in the club now.
Yeah.
Cool. Very cool. Timothy is on the team. Excellent. So I do that. That's like 5 seconds. I am going to very quickly get things situated with the king because he's not hiding in the pantry. But there's got to be clerics taking care of him, making sure that his situation does not deteriorate any faster than necessary. I'm going to oversee that very quickly. And then I am going to try to find whoever like the primary. So we're staying in a palace here, right? There is someone who knows this place inside and out, whether that's like a butler or like the king's secretary or whatever that is. They are the first person I'm seeking out.
All right. I'm gonna let you know just real quick. This place is huge, but also you guys are all staying there. You guys
So, Fry, take a second.
There we go. It's showing. Oh, never mind. It's back. It's cool.
Okay, we did it. We're good. That was an exciting little moment there. It does. I'm just glad that all we had to do was sit here and be nervous. I didn't have to touch or do anything. Thank goodness. Everyone's still exactly where they're supposed to be. All good.
Yeah. So, Carson, honestly, the best person that you would want to talk to is Baron Black, which is the daughter of the King and Queen Earl. So that would be probably the best person to talk to. You know, she's a teenager, likes to escape and stuff like that, knows this place from the back of her hands, and so
good. That is who I will speak to. I will, as soon as I have coordinated to make sure that the king's condition does not deteriorate, I will find Baron Black and have a conversation with them. Kind of try to pull them aside from where everyone is into like a quiet corner so that as we're talking, there's not like prying ears are not able to overhear things. And I will, just to keep things simple, there's just like a couple of bullet points of information I want to get. And that way we don't have to RP for an hour in a day as I run through my comprehensive list of everything I need to ask about in 45 minutes or less. So I want to determine where the safest places in the palace are in case we need to locate the queen and the prince. I would like to determine whether or not there are any like known curse related things about the palace and the area that I should be aware of, right? I'm obviously, not culturally aware of what's here. I'm from elsewhere, so I need to learn very quickly to figure out maybe if there's a way to undo the spell. Do you want me to keep going, or do you want to handle things as we go?
I want to handle those two questions.
Okay, great.
So the first one is the most safest places. The most safest places are the pantry / bunker. There's like in the pantry there's a little there's like a door. It's like one of those things where you pull it and then it opens a door. You pull a little sugar cube tin and it opens the door into a like decently sized bunker with multiple beds and like food and supplies and all that. It's a safety bunker, so standard array stuff except more. And then there is a secret passageway through one of the towers that leads to outside, where there is a quick escape for folks who either want to go into town, or for folks who just want to get the F out of there. And then shoot the second. Oh, and then there is a spiraling staircase that goes from the king and queen's quarters down into the dungeon, where they keep people like locked up and stuff like that. They hold them down there, and there is another quick exit through a large tunnel that is it leads out to a cave, and that's it. Again, it is a survival cave. It has beds and food and stuff like that. It's survival, but more. So yeah, that is the answer to your first question. The second question was what?
Was looking, is there any relevant curse related information about the palace or the surrounding area?
No, I rolled a 12, just let you guys know. There is none. No curse related stuff. Usually curses aren't really their thing. They cursed one small group people for like several years because they weren't paying their taxes, and so it's kind of like a thing of like, you can't get to this amount of gold or copper or silver without it going straight to us, so you're kind of stuck in this like section of money, and that's pretty much it. It's just they liked to keep their taxes money in order. So yeah.
Right. Fair enough. I would request that Baron shows me all of the secret passageways, and then I, after seeing them, because I just want to know where the secret tunnels are. That's really it. But after that, I want to do a tour of the palace to see if I can make sure that everything is secure, one, but then two, I'm looking for anyone who is perhaps trying to avoid detection in the castle, trying to stay in the area but stay hidden.
Yeah. So you want to go to all of the secret passages?
Yes.
Or all of the safety places.
The secret passages, primarily.
Okay. She shows you not only the pantry, she doesn't open it because there's the guards standing.
They're hiding in there, not a big deal.
Yeah. And there is, and then she shows you the tunnel that you go, stand in front of the tunnel opening and feel the sea, or no, because you guys aren't close to the water. I'm a dummy. You feel the breeze of the air, hitting against your face of cinnamon and stuff like that, because they are close to the Chai Republic. It is a tunnel cave that leads to that section of the area. And then you see another one that leads to Tisania that has she tells you it has a hidden dirt path that leads to the portal of Foodtopia, which is a portal that everyone goes to once a decade to switch to people, to have representatives from each side of the coin to make it so then there are good relationships and all that jazz. So yeah, democracy. I don't know if that's the right one for this. I don't know. Anyways, she shows you all of those passages that she already mentioned, and then she shows you, she actually takes you into the library where you see Bettina. Damn, I keep on adding an R. This is so dumb.
All good, you got it.
You see Bettina doing so much reading. It is intense. She's flipping through books and then putting them away. She's even unfolding dog ears in books. And her bird is going up to different shelves that are high up and bringing books down. She is there is even a spectral hands that are holding books that are kind of okay, all this stuff. It is wild and awesome and so cool and magical. But you see all of this, and then the Baron takes you to a shelf over where Bettina is, and pulls on one of the light fixtures that you see is an illusion, because it flickers in and out, both similar to fire but also is fake. It's fake. You kind of run your hand. She runs her hand and is not burned at all, and pulls it down, and then a little plaque of wood moves in and then shudders to the side, and it can fit you, it can fit her, it can fit everyone except for Wilbur, who is an actual 6'5". He is huge. But everyone can fit who's under 6'5" comfortably ish. And it becomes, you see a glowing green light that is so faint. It's so faint, you can barely see it. And we're gonna cut to Bettina. As you are looking at this file, you too you are looking at this file, Bettina, and you are looking, and even though you're not walking you consciously are not choosing to walk towards it, there's still somehow that pull of needing to go in
Towards
there.
the passage?
Yeah, into the tunnel-y area. And you see the Baron Black also just is semi-mesmerized. There is a certain charm effect.
Well, that's weird.
Yeah. And so you see this folder. and you start reading, and you start reading, and it is filled with juicy gossip of file reports and lab reports of the Earl Kingdom trying to bring back people from the dead using necromantic energy power, trying to turn something into living, and you see failure after failure after failure after failure and one success, but then afterwards when they try it again, failure and failure and failure, and then one more success, failure, 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 failure. They've only had 2 successes when they are testing, and that is when they kill someone and then bring them back to dead, wrapping them in like this weird like covering them in this weird like acidic juice. And another time when they put a coin inside of the person that you see is like the coin is supposed to like stabilize their body, but also like we also notice that it starts to like tear black holes into the body and makes it so like so that they can stand, but they will quickly crumble. And you see that the other one, the only way that it is like able to stay up is because it has the goop all over it, which is like the remains of oversteeped tea people, and a mixture of like farmer stuff and like just weird gross, like it's a awful concoction. And the only reason that they were able to succeed is because they had the coin inside and the goop on them. And you notice from the reports again and again and again, it says black hole, black hole, black hole, explosion, black hole, explosion, 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 black hole, explosion. And it's repeating all the way down until you see perfect success. Both used as a bomb can also are venomous. They are vicious and attacking, and you, Carson, walk in to a lab. You know those mad scientist stereotypical labs where they have the beakers and the foam and the steam and the mist and the everything. And there is even a Dr. Frankenstein table where you see a body that is mostly decayed, mostly falling apart. But you see no eyes, no mouth. It is a gaping hole that feeds into itself, and it is a perfect black hole. And that is where we're going to end for tonight's game. Sorry that it ran a little bit over time, but I had to get to that point.
Gross, bro.
So, can I ask one quick question?
Totally.
Is this file 5 pounds or less?
Yes, actually.
All right, I pick up the entire file in my hand. Poof! It's in my bracelet.
Nice.
I'm taking it with me. Taking it with me because clearly this probably shouldn't have been left out in the open, and oops.
Yeah.
Oops.
I also
This is sus.
Yeah, I also would like to say that Chewy, your necromantic tapioca, over the course of the time of you being inside of the room, hearing other people talking about necromancy and hearing the fact that like the king is like partially dead but not completely and is in this like weird in-between state, you see it slowly glowing more and more, and you feel it vibrating in your bag. So
cool.
Yeah.
Great. Yowza. I'm excited and horrified to find out about that next week.
It's gonna be fun. We might have our first combat, you know.
I'm really reticent to drink any fungus tea this week, let me tell you. I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to be getting onto any like poires, any of that food jobs. Like, ew.
Yeah. Probably most of next week's session is going to be mush related. So if you're uncomfortable with squelching and
Oh my gosh.
moist and stuff like that,
Okay. Note to self, post content warning for squelching.
yeah.
And moistness.
Yeah, right. Grody. Cool.
So
Cool. Thanks.
yeah.
Fantastic. Do you want to do your outro first?
Yeah. So
On that note.
yeah. Hoping you guys all get some good sleep tonight. And I do truthfully mean that. My name is Teacup. Really it's Alan, but Teacup is my online name. And I am your tea master. I've been drinking some Colombian white, and I hope that you guys don't die next week. Passing it on to Chewy, my mans. Not really, but
it's pronounced mom.
Mom.
Yeah, cool. Hi, I'm Friday. I have been Friday. I will continue to be Friday, but also Chewy. Chewy Speck, Boba Barbarian, and now Child Keeper, apparently, which is not how I saw this character evolving at first, but I'm like really feeling it. Yeah, you can find me here on this channel generally. You can find me also on all social media platforms, either at Friday Tea, or if it's here or Tiki Taki, then it's at Friday Afternoon Tea. You can also find my personal work outside of tea nerd work, where I do studies on death and fiction and why both of those things are important to talk about on my personal blog over at FridayElliott.com. And that is pretty much all I've got going on right now. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Oh no. There's a mix-up on the thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Just pick someone.
Yeah. Shauna, how about you? How about you do your outro?
Cool. Hi, everybody. I'm Shauna. I am an engineer, though I'm currently less than employed in that arena. A space wizard for charity, artist, and moderator at large. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at She Is the Weather, on TikTok as Moon Prism Power Mascot, and on Twitch as That's No Moon Prism as the moderator in several people's Twitch streams, including Kadiosaurus and Hey Good.
Now, Reese, how about you do your outro thing?
Hello, everyone. My name is Reese. You can follow me on Twitter at Miss Reese1 or Miss Reese1 on Instagram. I am the co-founder and co-host of TTRPG. We have a Twitch channel where we have a once monthly talk show where we interview people from the TTRPG community. We also will be hosting live RPG games as well as video games and game nights. You can follow TTRPG on Twitter at TTRPG. That's TEATRPG _ on Twitter, or at TTRPG on Instagram, and we are also on Facebook.
And Josh, how about you?
Hey, what's up? My name is Josh. You can find me on all social media platforms at Joshua M. Simons, and here on Twitch at Joshua Simons. I do way too much. I am a freelance tabletop game designer. So I've got a couple of award-winning products out on the DMs Guild, which you can check out, including recently the Gelatinous Guide to Ooze. It's got a whole bunch of ooze-themed monsters and a playable oozling race, which is just the cutest thing you've ever seen. I am also a variety streamer on my own channel. You can catch me tomorrow, where I will be finishing a game called Call of the Sea, where you are a chronically ill woman seeking out her long-lost husband, who's very hot and also missing. And maybe we've been cursed. It's tough to tell. It's a fun puzzle game. I've been playing it with a friend of mine, Mackenzie the Armas, and we are pretty close to the end of that game. I will be doing that tomorrow around 6 p.m. Pacific. You can catch me on Fridays over at the Rock Punch ATL Twitch channel, where I play in a little game called Tampo, using the Islands of Sinuina supplement. It's all inspired by and written by Filipino culture. It is super cool. And the director and co-director of that book project are kind of running us through the game, through this world. It's kind of an opportunity to learn about Filipino culture from Filipinos. So it's a super cool time. And of course, we've got a phenomenal cast for that. I play Stardew on Sundays. I paint minis on Mondays. It's 5 days a week, baby. I am also the assistant director of ambassadors at Jasper's Game Day. It's a nonprofit organization that uses tabletop gaming for the cause of suicide prevention. Mental health stuff is super important to me. I am also a Take This ambassador, representing mental health both in the tabletop gaming and video gaming worlds. So if that's a thing that you're passionate about, feel free to come and chat with me about it sometime. That's all I've got. I will shut up because I could keep talking about things that I'm doing for forever. And we need to end the stream because I'll just keep talking.
You're so busy and nice.
Yeah. Again, y'all, I'm really sorry. From Wilbur, I'm real sorry, y'all, about keeping y'all late. I did not mean to. We just had to hit a certain story plot line, and that was the most important part. But we got a great setup for you next week. And this week, I think that we have some giveaways. Is that correct, Friday?
Oh yeah, we hit a bunch of milestones on various social media platforms for the tea shop. It's nothing. We hit 125,000 followers on TikTok this week, and and 5,000 on Twitter and 6,000 on Instagram, like all within a week of each other. So that was pretty thrilling, and we're using it as an excuse to do like hella giveaways. So we're in the middle of a TikTok giveaway right now over there. We just wrapped up a Twitter giveaway yesterday that was exciting, and then over the weekend we're doing an Instagram giveaway. So it is definitely a really good time to make sure you're following the tea shop at Friday Tea or at Friday Afternoon Tea on all the platforms, because we're just giving away a butt ton of cool, like, delicious tea that's very customizable because we like excuses to give people free tea. Solid business model. Yeah, no, we just love to give people tea, so we're doing that a lot this week. But yeah, that's kind of our big thing that we got going on over here. But for right now, I think we are ready to go and raid our friend Nick. Nick the Tiefling is online, so let's all go say hi, get your little hype emotes ready, and let's go just blow it up and say what's up, because Nick is a super cutie, wonderful human being, and anytime we can bring Nick a little smile is a good time. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We hope to see you next week, and have a wonderful, wonderful week. Take care of yourselves, drink tea, chill out, relax. All right, see you next time, loves.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.